So as many of you guys do know, the Ye x Cardi relationship has been pretty weird, I'd say, within 2025, right? We go back a couple years, it seemed like since Whole Lotta Red and on, they've been like super close. That was Cardi's big bro. Ye took him under his wing. If there was a Ye project, Cardi was gonna be on it. If Cardi was working on a new album, it seemed like Ye was involved heavy. It seemed like Cardi and Ye were inseparable, right? But obviously fast forward a couple years, here being in 2025, it has been rocky to say the least, right? We go from Ye saying Cardi's his favorite rapper to Cardi previewing some songs prod via Ye. We thought, okay, leading up to iMusic, it's looking good. Ye x Cardi, they seem to be like this, right? And then obviously all that Ye type stuff has gone down within 2025. The album drops, music drops, and I feel like that was like the breaking point where everything just completely collapsed in terms of the Ye x Cardi relationship. And then we seen a clip yesterday via Digital Nas' stream where he basically kind of just crashed out on Cardi. He spoke on iMusic. He gave his thoughts on the project as a whole alongside another piece of information. So let's get into it. So the first thing I want to get into is Ye's kind of like reaction and overall opinion on Cardi's project, right? NFR podcast said it right here. Ye calls Playboi Carti's music album trash and calls out Travis Scott. Crushes like two dudes thinking that Ye, talking about what would Ye do without calling Ye, alongside saying Cardi stole Ye's prods. This is what he said right here.
Trash,
and this was all on Digital Nas' stream yesterday, which didn't really last anything long because I believe Ye was on stream for like 7 minutes and he got completely just cooked, banned, out of here. So I don't think we'll see any more of that.
Jordan is like the Benjamins. It's
so he's speaking on Evil Jordan.
Illest songs ever. That's inside of him.
So Ye really likes Evil Jordan, said that's one of the illest songs Cardi's ever made. And then now he starts to speak on Crush.
It's like two niggas thinking they Ye in the studio talk about what would Ye do without calling Ye. Call Ye, nigga. Try Cardi, call me, nigga.
I feel Ye though, because we all know that does seem like a Ye inspired song, right? When you hear Crush for the first time, when we heard the snippet, we're like, did Ye produce this? Did Travis produce this? It had that Ye type of swag to it. We knew Ye was sprinkled all over that. And obviously due to Ye's reaction, he was not involved nowhere near the process of making that song, right? But I do kind of feel Ye in regards to that because Ye kind of like almost birthed these two artists, right? These two are at the biggest like point in their careers, pretty much a top 5, top 3 biggest in the game as of right now, right? So Ye had a huge involvement with that, right? He took both of them under his wing, and then 2025 things got a little shaky. Obviously they kind of hit the dash, dipped on Ye. But then again, I completely understand why Travis and Cardi did that, right? 2025 has been an interesting year to say the least, being a Ye fan and just seeing everything that's gone down as of what we know, looking from like the internet perspective from Ye, it's been pretty interesting, right? Obviously we know what he's doing, the type of stuff he's promoting, XYZ, right? So if I'm Cardi and I'm gonna put out the biggest album of my life, projected to sell 300,000, I got the world waiting on my project. And then we got Ye over here doing all these things left field, XYZ. I am not putting him nowhere near my album whatsoever. And then there's two sides to that, right? Because there's the producer Ye and the rapper Ye, right? I still to this day believe, I don't think Ye has ever lost his touch in terms of like producing and making beats. I still think he's like S tier in regards to like production. I don't think he's ever lost that, right? But obviously rapping, laying down verses. We just reacted to Cousins, World War III. We cool. AI, we cool off that. We do not need a Ye verse in the big 25. So I completely understand why Cardi left Ye off his project. But then again, I do kind of feel Ye in regards to why he's like kind of a little hurt about it. And then he said, what else he said?
He stole my producers, bro.
He stole his prods, OG Volta.
Yeah, nigga stole
I believe that was it, right? So yeah, that was kind of like Ye's crash out in regards to music, right? We didn't really know how Ye felt in regards to this album. Obviously, like a couple of days after music release, when Ye found out like he wasn't on the project and everything went down kind of like behind his back, he kind of gave his like slight thoughts in regards to the album, but he never really spoke into deep regarding music, right? So that's how Ye feels about Cardi's latest album, specifically about Crush and Evil Jordan, right? And then he also spoke on how Cardi upped the burner on, bro. This is what he said.
Another thing that Cardi said to me on the phone, nigga. This nigga told me he was at the chateau with a gun, nigga.
Yeah, he speaks with so much passion, bro.
Oh, I gotta tell you another thing that Cardi said to me on the phone, nigga. This nigga told me he was at the chateau with a gun, nigga. What that mean, nigga? And then nigga say he don't be on the internet.
What that
like,
mean?
if you don't be on the internet, what are we talking about then? Man, I ain't say nothing then.
So it seems like Playboi Carti pulled up on Ye at Chateau in LA with a burner on him, right? Was he gonna do anything? I highly doubt it, right? And honestly, I feel like this always happens with Ye, right? He either crashes out, he burns a bridge with somebody, boom, 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 XYZ, this, everything happens. And then when Ye's in like production mode or album mode, and he wants to have a certain verse or person within his album, they obviously always show up no matter what Ye has said or been through within the past couple of months, right? But maybe this could potentially be like the nail in the coffin, because Ye has said some crazy stuff before and Carti's always stuck by him. Same thing with Travis, right? They'll always be like, Travis kind of cut off Ye. Travis don't rock with Ye. He unfollowed him, XYZ. And then you see him in the club together. You see them in the studio, XYZ, right? I feel like that relationship will never truly be burnt. Feel like it's almost the same thing with Carti. But if Carti pulled up on him with a stick, who really knows, right? But that's kind of like everything in regards to this video. And then everybody was bringing up this video right here. What you reaching for?
You reaching?
Have a pistol? What your hands like?
Now you want to talk, nigga? Nigga, what you mean, nigga?
This was surfaced like a couple of days after a whole lot of red as well, if y'all don't remember. It's your brother. Then he pistol whipped him and bro started running. What your hands like?
What your hands like?
You say what y'all want to do. So if y'all don't remember, that happened back like in 2020, 2021, something like that, right? People were like, Carti's about to do the same thing to Ye. Obviously not. But this was kind of like pretty crazy that Ye just went full off on Carti, spilled the beans to the world on a live stream, right? I don't think it was one of the smartest ideas to put Ye on a live stream, right? Because y'all know, he unfiltered, he just lets it fly, he does not care, right? But that's kind of everything I want to go over in this video, how Ye crashed out on Playboi Carti. Ye gave us even more thoughts in regards to how he feels about Playboi Carti's last album. Will they reconnect, and will we see something from them in the future? Honestly, wouldn't really put it past them, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Would y'all want to see Ye on Carti's last album, or do y'all want to see Ye on Baby Boy? I think we all know the answer to that, but I would definitely take some production from Ye 1000%. I would love to see Ye cook up for Carti more, right? Because Backdoor was amazing. Obviously, we've seen what Ye and Carti have done. They don't miss, right? But if you guys like this video, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below, and I'm out. Thank you guys.
When the trouble calls a name and inspiration sends with an open door again. Tell me about it. I'm a demon off the pills. So I be smoke on the hill. Walk around with a big bang, roll these niggas live. Crash, 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 crash. Switch on the glide, it hit everything I check, I blast. This bitch straight about everything, she worried about her pants. Crack a silk, these niggas rap cat, they never had one. Never had one. Never rap cat, never had one.